I did
You done the jazz cruise?
This is my 3rd year doing jazz cruise, so I'll let him talk about it.
Well, I've sailed on 10 jazz cruises. The best part being a musician is to be around all the other musicians and see them in different settings, both in their most comfortable settings and in their most maybe uncomfortable settings, and how they react and respond. And it's really just like one of the most inspiring weeks of my year.
Yeah. It's kind of wild though, because you know a lot of these musicians, not all of them, but a lot of them live in New York, and which is where we both live, and it's kind of like we could all live within a 20-mile radius of one another, but not see each other for a whole year. You know, so it's kind of like we're stuck on this boat with people who we live around the corner with, and we actually get to know them for a week, you know, and not see them again for another year. So, you know, it's a little weird that way, but it's, you know, this is better than any jazz festival probably ever, in my opinion. Mainly because, you know, when jazz festivals, you see musicians and then they leave, and they, you know, jazz festival lasts throughout days. Okay, this person played yesterday, you won't see them tomorrow, you know what I mean? Here, we get to see everybody all together at dinner or at a coffee shop, in the boat, or like, you know, we get to go on excursions together, and, you know, whatever. So it's a real community vibe with musicians.
Special time to bond and see people in the music, but also see them for who they are outside of the music, and then get to know that side of the musician, and then see how that translates into their music. I think that's why the passengers love it so much, because they get the full package where you don't get that a lot of other places in the world. And you know, you reconnect with some of your best friends. I barely ever get to see Sullivan anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Our touring schedules are so all over the place, you know.
It's just a chance to expand and meet other people, even in your generation that you've seen around forever but never had the chance to really make music with.
And get to hear your heroes, man, like Joey DeFrancesco, or just to go and hang out with them, and then you get to meet them. They know who you are, and you know, it's like, wow, you know me. I love you. You're like my favorite, you know. So to have that type of collaboration on that end with not just other people who play different instruments, but people that play your own instrument too, and get to share ideas and get to just talk shop.
Well, it's an honor to be here. This is one of the great jazz occurrences in history. And I think people will talk about these weeks, you know, in 20 years, 30 years time. They'll be like, oh, on those jazz cruises. I even think back to 8-9 years ago when I was around and Roy Haynes was on the boat, and I would sit 2 feet away from the drums and listen to him play a set, or Jimmy Heath and Tootie Heath, cracking jokes, you know, all through the dining room, bring it right on stage. And you know, I played with Jimmy Cobb here one year, and you know, got to listen to Benny Golson last year when he was on here, and they sang Happy Birthday to him on his 90th birthday right here on the cruise. It's some moments you can't recreate, and I'm just fortunate to be part of the family and be part of it, and see my brother Sullivan Fortner here, my brother and my teacher, and one of my best friends. It's you know, if we thought we were best friends before these 2 weeks, come back and see us afterwards.
We're
planning our duo piano concert in New York already. So we each learned organ in a different setting. So Sullivan learned growing up in church. They set him down and he was playing piano. Now he's playing organ, and it's just natural. And he's got so much color palette out of that instrument because of the roots of the church. I got into organ listening to Jimmy Smith and Jack McDuff and Charles Erlin and Joey DeFrancesco. And so I would go to the jazz club near my house called Cecil's, and I would figure out the organ and then sit in at the jam session. So I learned it purely from a jazz standpoint, and then I had to go back and check out the church roots, and so it's just a different place we're coming from in that instrument, but it's an important part of who we each are, I think.
We're completely reversed. We're completely reversed. Like, I came to jazz organ with a Larry Young record, with Unity. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went and checked out Jimmy Smith and Jack McDuff and Jimmy McGriff and, you know, all of the greats, Don Patterson. Yeah.
Joey D was really a big one for me. I saw him
bridge that gap for us.
Saw him play when I was young, and the feeling he plays with, and the excitement, and the chops, and just the overall consciousness of where he's coming from in the music just really stimulated me at a young age. It made me want to play, and made me want to learn what he's doing and be a part of that. And then I was here on the cruise about 8 years ago, and I was just a little boy, and he called me up to play, and he went over to the piano, and I was playing organ. And there was some moments like that, especially that moment, which I'll never forget. People keep coming up to me and asking me if I remember that moment too. And you know, there's some unforgettable moments that just things that happen on this boat that you'll never forget the rest of your life.